Okay, everybody. Hey there, my name's Weston, and today we are smoking the bacon. Today's the day. The bacon's been in the refrigerator for the last 3 to 4 days. I think it was about 4 days total, about maybe even 5. I have to look. We're not recording this video and putting it up the same day, so the video will be coming out a little bit after we actually smoke the bacon. But today's the day we're smoking it. Trying to get these new grates. I'm putting grates on the grill so that I can separate them, but I think this grate, they stapled it together here. There we go. I want to keep the bacon off the bottom as best as I can, and because I don't have hooks to hang the bacon, I'm going to use these as a means to do so. So I've got the charcoal getting ready. I'm rinsing off the bacon as we speak, and I will be right back with the bacon. We'll throw it on the grill. Okay guys, so since we're not cooking at incredibly high temperatures, I'm not going to start a fire in the box like I usually would. I'm going to use a traditional chimney, and I'm going to get the fire going relatively small. Keep the fire small so I can keep the temperature low. We want the temperature in the smoke box between 175 and 200 degrees the entire time we're doing this. But what I have here are the slabs. So I've got the charcoals in. I'm gonna get this closed and get it heating up. Now, this isn't necessarily the type of smoker you want to use when you're smoking bacon. These tend to run a little bit on the high side, but this is what we have. We have another larger smoker over there, which is what we did. I'll cut some of that footage in. What we did the last slab. That guy's over in the corner. It's what we usually do most of our larger meat orders with. But this one will do. So we're gonna get this guy heating up, and once this guy's up to about 175, 200 degrees, we're gonna get it open, throw the meat slabs on there, and then we'll start talking about what we're gonna do flavoring wise with the smoke and stuff. Okay, so the grill has gotten up to about the temperature that we want it to, and I'm going to use a probe to put in one of the meat. I'm going to put it in the bacon that's closest to the smoke box, and when I put the bacon on there, you'll see that I'm going to put them as close together as I can. This will read out our temperature for us, and it'll make it a little bit easier to track. So let's go ahead and throw the bacon on the smoker. Alright, so there's more proof that it's a better day. Didn't start the video off looking too good, but it's actually a beautiful day. We just got a little bit of cloud coverage. So anyway, what we've decided to do here is use pecan and cherry wood for our flavorings. Smoke flavoring anyway. We figured it didn't really matter with the smoke, and as long as the individual flavors smell good. And this is wood, it's going to burn, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that back in there. Don't want to waste any of it. We're up here in Illinois, and pecan wood's a little bit hard to find, so we're not going to waste any of that stuff. But now that we got the smoke or the heat going and we got the smoker up to the temperature that we want, we're gonna go ahead and throw handfuls at a time, a little bit of these chips. Now, one thing we didn't do was soak these. A lot of the times when you use smaller chips like this, a lot of people like to soak them. When I smoke, I usually tend to use larger pieces of wood, like logs and stuff, so I don't like to use chips like this. But since we want to keep low temperatures and it's only bacon, so the temperatures need to be low, we're gonna go ahead and use these chips here. So I'm leaving them dry, and I'm gonna only throw in each time, I don't know, about a little tiny handful. They're gonna catch on fire, and you don't want the fire from them to heat up the box in any way. So just use a little bit. They'll smoke a good amount, and you'll get the good, nice, rich, smoky flavor of them before they catch on fire, so you don't really have to worry about it. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw a handful of this in, and you guys watch. There, I've got this sitting a little precariously here because I want some of the smoke to come out. So I've actually removed the lid of it because I want some of the smoke to come out of the back. I don't want the box to be too hot, so we're having to kind of do some things weird here. But go ahead and watch here, and we'll see some smoke come out of there shortly. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Now, here it comes. Oh, you got the chickens crowing. Anyway, you got the roosters going over there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this big guy on there. There we go. Now this smoke smells amazing. Throw that bigger chunk on there and let this guy sit for a little bit and shoot you away. In the meantime, I'm gonna go say, hey, we'll see what these guys need. Okay, so I'm gonna keep watching this for the next couple of hours. I think I mentioned this, but I think I misspoke earlier. I said the 175. 175 is kind of the temperature we're gonna want to keep the smoked box at. The internal temperature of the bacon. And you can go. I mean, if you want to, it'll be safe to eat at 145, but you want to go at about 155 the internal temperature. I'm gonna pull ours at about 150, and then I'm gonna transfer it into a warmer inside while we slice some of it, so it should come up slightly in temperature. I mean, it's bacon, so it really doesn't matter if you bring it too high. Just, you don't want to get it above 165, but it should be stable as long as it's not too low. Between 145 165 is where you want to stay. Should be fine. And while I'm out here today, I'm going to be spending a little time in this lovely day, because this is my idea of relaxation. Really, got a drink ready to go, got the smoker going, we got some tomatoes, some peppers, some various flowers over here. I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing some of these into a pot while this goes. Okay, so while I'm smoking that stuff, the dogs are going to the restroom. Russell's over here mowing. I'm sure it's pretty loud. He's got that stuff going on. They're back. He's mowing. So I'm gonna try and get it to where you can kind of hear me. But one of the things that we kind of had to slow down on was the yard and the fence and all that stuff. Once the fire hit, you know, everything kind of just took a standstill. So we got a lot of that stuff. The yard's overgrown, but now that it's summertime and we got a little bit of time, it's time for us to start tackling some of this grossness. So over in this video, you'll see us start to get a lot of this fence put together and a lot of this stuff built, cleaned up.
Alright, well, good morning, everybody. As you can see, today's a little bit blustery, but we got everything we needed to do. Last night done on the smoker. We lost light. It took a little bit longer than I thought. It got up to about 135 on the grill, and like I said, I'm just going to have to take it inside. So we got it taken inside, and we are going to get slicing today. It's cooled down enough in the refrigerator overnight that we can get that stuff sliced up. So let's head on off and do a little bit of that.
Okay, so here we have our first slab. This is the one that came fresh out of the refrigerator. I don't exactly know which one this is. I'll have to go back through the footage and we'll find out which one this is. But I have here a residential meat slicer or deli slicer. What I'm going to use to slice up this meat. Now, if you don't have one of these, which a lot of people don't, you feel free to use a regular old kitchen knife to cut it up. You know, however you see fit. I'm going to take a first little trim off this piece, just because I don't want it to go in here all wonky. So I'm going to take a little trim off here, cut it up, make it look nice. Get this thing good and squared away. That way our first cut on the slicer doesn't have to be a wasteful piece. So there you go. That's a nice, beautiful cross cut of the bacon there. Looks delicious. I think this is the classic. Smells like traditional bacon. It actually might be. No, it smells like traditional bacon. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and throw this on the slicer and get this thing cut up. It's pretty easy once it's been refrigerated. Cutting it's not very difficult. If you have a sharp enough knife and a steady enough hand, you can cut slices off of it by hand. I'll go ahead and cut one here just to show you. Go ahead and get yourself a nice score across the top. That way the back end of your blade has something to follow. And then if your blade's sharp enough, you can just drag it through a couple of times real smoothly. Try not to do a sawing motion. A sawing motion is what's going to give you a jagged looking cut. But if you got a sharp enough knife and a steady enough hand, you can get yourself a good cut. But anyway, so like if you can see here where this fat along the back side, this side, I don't know, many people cook bacon. This is the side that tends to crinkle up and get all wonky looking on the grill, but the flat top. But the scores that we put in it when we're doing our curing cuts along that back fat line and lets it brown up nice and flat on the flat top. And it's still gonna curl a little bit because of these internal fat lines, but it's gonna do it a lot less. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump onto this slicer and slice this stuff up and get this one cut up. Okay, so that was that one. The waste was a little bit more than I expected. This slicer is, we'll just say it's not commercial. So that's a good amount of waste. But the good thing about bacon is it's not necessarily waste. The thing is, all those little extra pieces can be used in things like potato soup, green beans, anything that you would really put bacon in. So what we're going to do with this now that we've got it sliced up is we're going to get it put on a pan and put back in the refrigerator until we can get it individually sealed, and we'll show you what we're going to do with that later. We'll get this transferred for now. And we'll go ahead and break open our next victim. This one, I believe. Yeah, this one is the maple black pepper. So that would make the other one the classic home-style bacon. Which seems right because it smelled just like bacon. So we're going to do the same thing we did the other one. We're going to square up this side, and we're going to attempt to throw it through the slicer, just like we did the last one.
Okay, so just like the last one, the slicers really wasn't working too well. I did my best, but as you can see, it's coming out kind of chewed up. So with this one, I mean, it's bacon. So what I did was I just cut some of the extra pieces. I sharpened the knife as best as I could and then got a few slices off, but because of where this was on the slice or the slab, it was kind of hard. So as you can see there, I'm kind of chunking it up. And then what I've done is I've taken the rest of the bacon that I have available and I've just cut it up by hand. I figure it's less waste, it's gonna look better that way. And this bacon, this is the ranch style bacon, and this one in particular, I wanted to get as many full pieces out of it as I could because this one actually turned out pretty good.
Okay, so now that we've got all that sliced up by hand, that worked out a lot better. We're going to go ahead and weigh it up. We're going to get a pound, and we're going to get it in a Ziploc bag, and we're going to seal this thing and get them into the freezer. Alright, so that's it. That's counted up, 1 pound, 1 pound, freeze dry. We're gonna throw this in the freezer. I'm gonna go ahead and label it first. This is the ranch style. This actually smells pretty good. I got a piece of it frying up behind me, but you'll see that in episode 3. I'm gonna do the rest of the bacons the same process. I'm gonna get them all weighed up, bagged up, thrown in the freezer, and stay tuned for episode 3 where we taste it on up. See you guys there. Bye bye.